Hey guys, welcome back to the Arise with Anita podcast with my lovely co-host for the evening, Melanie Marisol. Ready? Apparently, we have to start that over.
Oh, it's all up in there. I see. Interesting.
I'm very okay. So, I'm a little shocked, but I guess I'm gonna go with this, and I'll have to edit the first few minutes out. But okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Arise with Anita podcast with my beautiful co host, Melanie Marisol, here to talk about the Scorpio full moon taking place on the 5th of this month. So I'm going to let Melanie take it away and we'll be chiming in where we see fit.
Great. So, hello, I'm Melanie Marisol, and I work with pioneering business leaders of the new economy and the new earth to help them decode their soul mission and help them build their legacy impact. We use astrology to do that. So, as a disclaimer, I am a modern Western tropical astrologer. So, I'm very much focused on the journey of the self and helping you figure out what you are here for. So we're going to go over some forecasting of what's actually happening in the heavens right now, and then we'll get into individual horoscopes for each sign. So right now, we have on May 5th a full moon in the sign of Scorpio, and that is where sensual, luxury-loving, opulent Taurus, it's currently, the sun is currently in Taurus right now, it's Taurus season, is conjunct or connecting with erratic and unpredictable Uranus. So what weird, unexpected things can you do, specifically if you're a musician, especially if you're a singer? What kind of weird futuristic music can you create? This might be a really creative time for you. So what is going to be your legacy you're leaving behind, and how can you utilize your voice as Taurus rules the throat? We also have the shadowy transformative moon in Scorpio, and it's opposing very zany, unpredictable Uranus as well. So this is a ripe time for the shadow aspects of Scorpio to activate. So I don't know if you've been feeling this, Anita, but I really have been seeing people activate their inner revenge seeking, increased irritation, and like paranoia spiking everywhere. It's been kind of like a hostile time, in my opinion. So
Yeah, to piggyback, it's just definitely been one of those seasons of like frustration for the least. And
mm,
it's just like, oh my God, is everything gonna be screwed up today? But anyways, I digress. That's the shadow aspect of this whole sign. So, you know, my perspective has been like, okay, what can I learn from this instance versus why am I about to curse you out? Trying to diverge the two. Because as a human, you might be tempted to, but it's not always the correct way of going about things.
right, right. So the shadow aspects of Scorpio involve like revenge, paranoia, um, very like kind of mysterious sign, and can be very moody and judgy. So the more positive aspects of Scorpio is allowing you to indulge in death and rebirth and deeper transformation. Phoenix rising from the ashes is kind of the vibe. So allow yourself, for every sign, but just basically anybody listening as well, allow yourself to go into the fire, like fall in face first, and allow yourself to transform, right? Not like a literal fire, but you know what I mean. So allowing any unpleasant or dark emotions to come through so that you can transmute them. Because suppressing them will only make you act out like an unhinged nutcase like later on. So you might as well go wild, right? Usually the few days before the full moon and on the full moon, I can say this from personal professional experience, but there definitely is an increase in people going into mental health hospitals and the ER. It is a thing. The full moon just makes people's emotions out of control, and does increase the lunacy, as lunacy comes from the term of lunar. Um, Additionally, despite the general chaos that's going on, this is also a time where Venus, the planet of lesser fortune, is sextiling Jupiter, the planet of greater fortune. So in Greek mythology, Venus was Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and Jupiter was Zeus, and he is like the god of gods, right? So you have them coming together. So this is an excellent time to promote some flash sales for some quick cash injections, while also making your valuable time to work together more accessible. So for any entrepreneurs or business owners that might have digital courses, for example, digital products, this is a good time to make them accessible, as we are in sensual, luxury-loving, opulent Taurus season. This is the time to really stack your cash with Taurus season as well, stacking that cash money and also reevaluating what you value, because some people are maybe they're trying to build to always having 100K months, for example. But do you really need to make that much money to live the lifestyle that makes you the most happy? You know what I mean? Like, is that stressing you out too much? So we're always about abundance, of course, on this podcast, if you work with Anita. But if you're just starting out, you don't want to dysregulate your nervous system that much. So it's a good time to really reevaluate. What do you need to be the happiest, most express version of yourself, and then work towards that versus working towards someone else's arbitrary monetary goal.
So, and to piggyback off that, sorry, but a lot of times we overestimate what our dream lifestyles actually would cost. So my recommendation, if you haven't done so already, would be to actually look up what your dream car is going to cost you per month. Look up what that yacht or that private jet or insert the ranch or the home or trailer, whatever it is for you personally, is actually going to cost. Because a lot of the times we estimate, oh, I need to be making 100K months, or I need to make 500K months, insert number here. And a lot of times you actually don't need that much to have that dream lifestyle, to be free. And again, freedom looks different to everybody, but so that's an exercise I definitely recommend you try, because you will be surprised at how much closer you are to actually attaining those goals than having them be put out so far, because you are thinking, especially with the coaching industry right now, of how these 100K months or the 500K months are the step to that success. They're great. We're not dissing the abundance from that, but it's not required in order for you to go ahead and have an abundant and free life.
Right. And with that as well, we do have Venus squaring Neptune, and Jupiter is also squaring Pluto as well. This is all happening on May 5th. So just so we understand, squares can get kind of a bad rap in astrology, as it's considered a harsh aspect or a challenging one. But when we have Venus squaring Neptune, you have a very sensual planet with a very fantastical, dreamy, boundaryless planet as well. So actually, this could be a time of, instead of doing really intense shadow work, it's kind of softened with delving into something that could be pleasurable. So this could be a type of shadow work or shadow integration time where you could really lean into hypnosis or deep meditation for deep healing of the subconscious mind, as opposed to swamping and screaming and this kind of like scorpionic crying and cursing. There's opportunity here for it to be a pleasurable thing. And we'll wrap it up here that Jupiter is squaring Pluto. So again, the square, this challenging, harsh aspect, it could be potentially amazing and abundance activating, or a complete disaster for you. It really depends on what's going on in your inner world, and the fate you have decided to enact in this lifetime, and your level of self-awareness. So Jupiter, the planet of good luck, abundance, expansion, is maybe clashing, but maybe also being activated by Pluto, the planet that rules Scorpio in modern astrology. It's a planet of destruction, regeneration, tearing down any structures that are not really sustainable, that are not standing the test of time. Pluto's going to wipe it out. So again, this could be a great opportunity for you if you are a builder of the new earth, if you are a traditional businessman, for example, that's not really that conscious with capitalism, and you're trying to hold on to the old paradigm of business, this isn't really the best situation for you. But if you're a builder of the new earth, this is the time to really build and collect. Additionally, this full moon is about going into the shadowy deep, mixed together with all this news I just shared here. And we are going to be experiencing a lunar eclipse. The last time that we had this podcast, we are experiencing a solar eclipse. So you got to have the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse to close out the cycle. So yeah, the lunar eclipse occurs. This is an astronomical explanation here. So the lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, earth, and moon align so that the moon passes into the earth's shadow. So in a total lunar eclipse, we're only having a partial one right now. The entire moon falls within the darkest part of the earth's shadow, and that is called the umbra. So when the moon is within the umbra, it will turn a reddish hue. So this particular moon is also considered a flower moon. So because it is a partial lunar eclipse, maybe it will come out pink instead of like a deep rusty red. So just something to look up into when we look into the sky for this full moon. Again, as a full moon, unlike a new moon, it's a time to release and let go. This is about wrapping up a certain chapter of our lives, a culmination. Additionally, just so that everyone knows as well, Mars is in Cancer. So you have Mars, the planet of divine masculinity, also aggression, boundary setting, taking action. It's hanging out in the sign of divine femininity and family and like home life. So it can be kind of challenging and uncomfortable. Mars wants to assert, whereas Cancer wants to just love and snuggle and cuddle and like integrate. So this is a time where transformation around home and family life can occur for the better, even if there are some interpersonal scuffles along the way. So that's the foundation. Do you have any input or questions, Anita, before we go into the individual horoscope for each zodiac sign?
So far, I think I'm good. I mean, in terms of what I've been witnessing myself, all on point. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you continue doing your thing, man.
All right, so this is the part of the podcast where we go over each astrological zodiac sign. You can listen for your sun, moon, or rising sign. Some people like to just read their horoscopes from the rising sign. Others like to do their sun, moon, and rising. So I have the option. So we're going to start with Aries. Aries suns, moons, or risings. So there's going to be a death and rebirth beyond your control. It's just going to happen whether you like it or not. And this is the whole function behind it is so that you can build and increase your resilience internally and externally. So for some people, there might be a loss of an inheritance, or a merged resource may blow up in your face, or an unexpected business debt may pop up. So sorry about that. This is a time to really check in on your investments, or maybe reevaluate any business partnerships or mergers that you made earlier this year. But at the end of the day, even if it seems like everything's going to crap, just remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. It's going to be okay. And you're going to come out stronger in the end. And you can always make the money back. So it's just allow yourself to go with the flow. For Taurus, sun, moons, and risings, this is also a time to reevaluate your relationships, romantic or otherwise. So it's an excellent time to break the tie that binds. This is specifically for romantic relationships, friendships, business partnerships as well. I know Taurus, for the new moon that we did last time, it was more like darkest before the dawn kind of vibes as well. So this is not as intense for this full moon in Scorpio, believe it or not. So just a time to reevaluate friendships and where you're going with that. We're kind of in the middle of Taurus season at the time of this recording. So again, time to lean into pleasure. And if you have people in your life that are not increasing pleasure or not making you feel better, or, you know, not bringing you more peace of mind, are they really worth having around, right? This does not mean we go off and cut people off because they're challenging us for our true growth. But there's always drama with someone in your life. Maybe
Boundaries.
right.
Lean into that Jupiter energy she was just talking about. You want to enforce your boundaries.
Yes, right. So Jupiter and Mars, like expand upon the relationships in your life that are bringing you joy and pleasure and allowing more luxury into your life, and set boundaries with the ones that are just causing you angst. It's really not worth it. For Gemini, sun, moon, and risings, your vitality, your health is asking for a check-in and a rebirth. So maybe your morning routines are growing stale, or your rituals need a refresh. How has your physical body been doing? And have you been keeping up with your workout routines, or have you been aligning with a healthy diet for you? How are your habits overall? So this is an excellent time to break away from any lingering perfectionism, workaholism, and this is a great time to reimagine what productivity looks like to you. There's a lot of distortions in American culture around productivity. So this is an excellent time to tear those down and ask ourselves, how can I have the most productive day? What would bring me deep satisfaction and peace today? Versus, I'll just keep working until I'm tired. Like, we don't have to always be doing that. Let's see. Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. There's going to be a dramatic death and rebirth occurring for your inner child at this time. So this is a deep time to clear deep ancestral family karma, while also rebuilding the self-esteem of your divine inner child. So a lot of energy is moving and clearing out the old to bring in the new and better when it comes to your family relations. Again, Mars in Cancer is very activated at this time. So it's a perfect time to get raw, get real, and maybe get in the face of some of the family members who are triggering you. So,
Or it's time to reparent yourself from that perspective of what was that child that, because we all have a set age point that I've kind of found that we're kind of stuck at. So for one, it might be 7 years old. For another, it might be 5. What was it that that child at that age needed that you did not receive that you can now go ahead and parent yourself to meet those needs? Because this journey that we're all on, somehow we all end up with some aspect of an unmet need because it's part of our growth process of learning how to parent ourselves, how to make sure that we're the ones that coming from the energy of what we need versus trying to expend that from somebody else.
right. And that's a really good point that you added, Anita. I was raised with a mindset from my own mother. If you can't yell and scream at your family, who else can you scream at? And so I could see like that is helpful in one way, as in like I'm with my immediate family all the time. We're having a kerfuffle, right? Let's get to the bottom of the argument. Like it's not so much that we're gonna avoid our feelings, but it's more of like, if I can't be real with you, like who else can I be real with? You know what I mean? My friends, maybe. Like so, if you can't be real with your family and we're all, who can you be? However, the reparenting thing that she is adding is also very helpful. You need to reparent. So say you don't want to get in the face of somebody who's triggering you because it's going to be physically unsafe for you. Like, let's not be reckless here. So yes, her suggestion for reparenting is definitely super applicable for anybody who is in that position. So I have a joke that because my Mars is conjunct my Libra sun, meaning Mars aggression is on top of Libra, always wanting to people please. I'm a fighter, not a lover. That's been the vibe for me these past few days. But yeah, let's not be immature and ridiculous either. So for those who have Leo, Sun, Moon, and risings, there's going to be a death and rebirth within the realms of home, life, and the mother and family life. So this is either your actual mother or the divine mother, the divine feminine. So this is another cosmic opportunity to clear ancestral karmic baggage, specifically along the female line. So get ready to release traumatic memories from your physical body, especially during childhood, so that you can clear your womb space, either literal or metaphorical, for more abundance coming in. Now for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and risings, this current Mercury retrograde acts as a harbinger of death and rebirth about how you communicate your message, either your personal ethos or your soul mission and business message. So this is a really great time to release any hangups you have with social media. This is perfect time for a personal rebranding, a social media refresh, maybe unfollowing those who only bring you angst online. Like I know people that hate follow Kim Kardashian. Like, what is that about? Like, don't do that. Cut it out. This is also a fabulous time to get real on what kind of branding visuals match your inner world as you are entering a season of heightened visibility. And I will also say for those listening, we are in Taurus season. Jupiter changes signs once a year, right? And so it's currently in Aries, but on May 16th, Jupiter is going to enter Taurus. So it's a great time as Taurus is ruling at the throat and the neck and like using your voice. Maybe launch that podcast you've been thinking about. It's very auspicious time to pitch yourself to podcasts, to be on podcasts as an interview, like as a guest. So really, really advantageous time to be doing that. Anything about if you're a singer, a musician specifically, great time to launch an album. Great time to explore your creativity, actually, if you don't have time to launch the album right away. So use your voice for the next year. That's for the collective.
To piggyback off that, if you have a closed throat chakra, maybe it's also time to actually take a look at what's causing that closeness of your throat. So what I mean by that is, what ways are you not telling your own story? Or who are you sheltering yourself? Or what type of false narrative are you letting others see you as when you're not using your voice to either stand up for your beliefs or to stand up for who you are as a person? So just start thinking about this. And I'm going to be very transparent. I'm definitely calling myself out here as well, because I do suffer from a closed throat chakra. And for me, I've been learning to lean into actually becoming more open. So just start thinking about, what does that look like for you in time? And what is it that you need to be showing up as?
Right, exactly. Stepping into that next level self. So you have to release with this full moon that the voice that is not yours, right? Maybe you're a very big loudmouth person and you were told, because you're raised in a very quiet family, to be quiet more often. Allow that thing to roll out. Maybe you're actually a really quiet person, but really you're meant to be very fabulous. So I was actually just working with a client, and he claims that he wants to be in the shadows. He doesn't like he likes being behind the scenes. He doesn't like being visible. But he is a Leo moon and Leo rising. And I knew it. He secretly did musical theater and stuff when he was in grade school. I'm like, you need to allow the inner fabulousness to come out. Forcing yourself to adhere to a certain stereotype of a humble leader is not helping in the new earth. So we're going to cut that out. We're going to be fabulous. You can be a good leader and mature and fabulous at the same time. As I said before in the beginning of this episode here, for Libra Sun, Moon, and Risings, there's the death and rebirth around your sense of self-worth and cash flow. It's a time to reevaluate your relationship to money and stacking cash money. So it's also a great time to review pricing for your services in addition to what you value. So what I said earlier, like, do you really need to make those 100K months to live the lifestyle that makes you the most happy? If not, rewire your nervous system. Set financial goals that you know are attainable, while also maybe setting some good, better, best goals. Those are always fun. What does security, stability look like to you? And do you really need the 100K months to live the lifestyle you desire? If so, own it, step into it, and don't be ashamed to strive for it, right? Just be honest with yourself. We also have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Risings in this full moon in Scorpio during Taurus season. So there's a death and rebirth around any and all past versions of you. Ditching is time to ditch the habits, mindsets, and parts of you that are really holding you back. This isn't like ditch a bitch and leave. This is more like, hey, I'm looking at this version of me. I lovingly hold you and I'm releasing you, right? We don't want to ditch and suppress. We want to ditch and integrate. Allowing yourself to be swept up into the proverbial fire that allows you to reemerge as the phoenix from the ashes is the theme here. And embracing the complete death and rebirth to your sense of self and expect to be born anew is kind of the heavy metal vibe that we're going for.
And to piggyback, if you are a Scorpio moon or rising or a sun sign, you probably already know in what areas of your life you need to be doing so. So for me, Scorpio rising here, um, I'm releasing the death of the whole imposter syndrome and just owning who I am. I don't know what that looks like for the rest of you, but I guarantee you, you probably already have something in mind that's just like, I have this issue or something I haven't taken a look at and I'm really not owning it. And now I really need to just release that shit because it's no longer serving me. So, in what ways can you actually start to step into a new version of yourself?
Yes, exactly, exactly. So Scorpio is probably the most metal of all the signs, in my opinion. So you might as well just like go full throttle, right? Throw yourself into Valhalla. You'll come out later, right? As a better version of you. So we're rounding out the end of this podcast with the transpersonal signs. So for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Risings, This is a really intense death and rebirth around the subconscious patterns that keep you stuck. So this full moon is really shining a light and illuminates the patterns, habits, thoughts, beliefs that hold you back. It's just really just shining a spotlight in there into your mind. So this is really the time to hold onto your horses and ride into the gates of hell to release your fears once and for all, or until the next full moon in Scorpio during Taurus season next year. So again, very metal movements we're going through here with transpersonal signs, really deeply reevaluating these old habits. Like, hey, maybe you've done the same freaking pattern for the last decade and it hasn't really gotten you anywhere. So maybe you could just stop doing that. Maybe really just getting raw and real with yourself. This is a very real full moon, right? For Capricorn, sun, moon, and risings. This is a death and rebirth around your friends groups and your communities, people that you surround yourself with, right? So who do you hang out with? Who do you surround yourself with? You may have found yourself seeing a lot of friends jump ship, right? People that claim to be your friends, but they're revealing who they really are, right? So the hell with them, right? You're making room for even better connections. So again, being real. I feel like full moons, usually people in your life kind of seem to quote unquote go crazy. It's like, are they actually going crazy? Or are they just really showing who they really are? It's time for you to practice the spiritual gift of discernment to figure out, is this person adding value to my life or is it always a drama, right? Am I always there for them, but they're never there for me? Again, a time to reevaluate. Aquarius, sun, moon, and risings. So there is going to be a lot of death and rebirth occurring for your career, your life's work, what you're known for, right? So some people might have felt a calling to do something really wild, like kind of just do a complete pivot from what they're known for. So maybe you felt a deep, unexpected calling to release what you're most known for, to develop something else that doesn't really seem logical, doesn't really seem like the thing to do, but it's really lighting you up. So maybe you're having some fears around not knowing how it will work out. So just trust the process, release the aspects of your life's work, that's the work that you're currently known for, that you're not enjoying. Like, just be honest with the aspects you don't like. And open your mind to the possibility that what is lighting you up is actually showing you the way to deeper fulfillment, abundance, and recognition. And it's deeper than you could have ever imagined. This also, since it's Capricorn, is very much a long-term plan. But not all of life is meant to be suffered through, Capricorns. So allow yourself to make the strange, illogical pivot. Like, we're going to move into fantasy land right now. I know it can be very challenging for Capricorns. And then finally, we have the Pisces, sun, moon, and risings. There's going to be death and rebirth around your relationships to religion, higher wisdom, deeper philosophies, dogma. So perhaps you come from like a legalistic Christian background and you're considering life beyond the fundamentalist Bible. So good for you. Or maybe you're doing the complete opposite. Whatever. That's great. Allow yourself to let go of the mindsets that have held you back spiritually. Keep that beginner's mind, right? Step into the journey of the Fool if you're into tarot. This is a time to really question everything and allow yourself to think for yourself while also carving out your own divine spiritual path.
Beautiful. And it makes sense that Pisces, being the more spiritual of the signs and a little more woo-woo, as we would call it, would be going through that whole religious or spiritual transformation. It's very in line with who they are to their core. And to piggyback off of the Aquarius vibe, I'm just gonna say that Melanie called me out yet again. So
What's going on with you, Aquarius?
career moves, man. Career moves. Definitely just stepping into your actual calling versus maybe an old identity that is no longer serving you, which happens to be a theme across all of my sun, moon, and rising. So yay me.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
So sometimes the Astros will just force you when you're not taking the action on your part, or they will make it kind of bluntly known that this is what you're meant to be learning. And I definitely can feel a sense of that this time around.
yes, with Aquarius, I feel like they're the most open to change But I think it also depends too. I know you have a lot of earth in your chart as well, Anita. So it's like for someone who has a lot of earth placements, like, "Ugh," like we don't have time to do that. Like we got to stay the course. So Aquarius allows you to be a little bit more loosey-goosey. I feel like Aquarius would most likely jump out of a airplane to like do parachuting or whatever, or like bungee jumping. Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, both of those sound really fun to me, so.
I didn't know you needed that. Okay, I'm learning a lot with you.
Well, hey, after walking on fire, why not?
Oh yeah, you're right. You did that. That's cool. Very, very metal. So Aquarius and Scorpio, I feel like would be the edgiest of all the signs. And so I said what I said. So that is the end of my astrological forecast. For anybody who has any questions, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. You can find me at Melanie_Marisol. And I also do astrology readings for divine assignment and legacy building.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in a reading, we are going to be leaving Melanie's information down below as per usual. And again, thank you, Melanie, for such an insightful time on this lovely full moon that we have. And again, in a couple of weeks, we will be out here doing another recording on the new moon coming up to talk all about what is it we're trying to manifest, because that's the whole thing. You release, then you manifest. You release, and then you manifest. So this whole thing is going to be ongoing. I'm so excited to continue to work and learn more from Melanie. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below or go ahead and reach out to Melanie directly.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Anita.
Of course. Well, have a good evening or morning wherever you guys are watching this, and I hope this helps you know how to navigate the oncoming times.